And I think it's also important to touch on this issue of Tafelberg and draw a very close correlation to what we are talking about. Now, if you've listened to the explanation that I've just given now, it is virtually impossible to try and do integrated development if it's not at scale. Because you will not be able to get the cross-subsidization that I'm talking about. You can't identify 1 hectare site and think that you'll be able to achieve the kind of mix that I just spoke about now. For any city development to work, you need a bigger site so that you can build at scale, so that you can be able to have a number of people who will benefit in terms of the lower income market, so that you are able to also bring in the people at the higher end of the market so that they are able to cross-subsidize those who are at the lower end of the market. So you won't be able to do that if you just identify 1 hectare of land.
In the past 4 years, the Funogwazi, together with Reclaim the City, have been lobbying and campaigning for the Tafelberg site to be used for affordable housing, because we fundamentally believe that land should be prioritized for affordable housing in the middle of a housing crisis in Cape Town. This is a city that has got a deep and violent history of dispossession and displacement of black people. And that site is suitable for affordable housing to accommodate the workers of the city. Watch this timeline to see some of the work that Reclaim the City and the Funogwazi, including our partners, that we have been doing in the past 4 years. Mandla.
There is about 1.1 hectares around the Tafelberg school that can be developed, but that is not enough land to make affordable, let alone social housing viable.
That's a lie. That is a lie. That is a lie. The social housing companies are ready to do it.
Can I just finish up?
But it is a lie. But it is a lie.
We'll be back here in our thousands.
Cape Town remains one of the most segregated cities in South Africa. It has been 25 years into democracy, but poor and working class people in Cape Town still find themselves on the peripheries of the city. The Tafelberg court case demonstrates the failures of all spheres of government to redistribute urban land in well-located areas as a first step in redressing the apartheid special legacy in Cape Town. In 2011, the Tafelberg site was earmarked for affordable housing by the Western Cape Provincial Government. In 2015 to 2016, the province decided to sell Tafelberg to the Phyllis Joel Jewish Day School for 130 million rand. Activists began the Reclaim the City movement to campaign against this and interdict the sale in court. In May, parties agreed to halt the sale and reopen the public participation process.
Comrades, your parents here because they are awaiting the decision of the Tafelberg site. We have just seen through the website of this provincial government that Helen Zille and her cabinet are continuing with the sale. They're continuing with selling well-located pieces of land. And in that process, evicting the poor people who are staying in places like Sea Point, Woodstock, Swat River, into the peripheries of the city. And that is something that was done by the apartheid government. And Helen Zille and her cabinet are continuing with the legacy of apartheid, continuing to displace the poor, the black and the colored people into the outskirts of the city.
So we're saying they have to build housing on Tafelberg. So people who are willing to pay rent can pay affordable rentals, stay close to where they work, stay close to good schools that their kids can attend, and clinics, amenities, not in Wolverrivier, Blikkiesdorp and Khayelitsha. Why? Why must people be moved out there?
Why throw us on the West Coast? Why throw us to the wolves? Why throw us in Blikkiesdorp?
In 2016, activists worked to improve public awareness about the sale. Over 5,000 submissions from Cape Townians who support the development of social housing on Tafelberg were eventually submitted to Cabinet.
Looking right here is a prime land. So end of the day, the issue of not giving us the low-cost housing. Why? Why do we not have to stay near where we are staying?
In November 2016, the Western Cape Provincial Cabinet commissioned a study to determine if social housing was financially possible at Tafelberg while considering the submissions. The study found that 270 units of social housing were possible on the site. In 2017, despite objections to the feasibility study, Premier Helen Zille announced Cabinet's decision to go ahead with the sale, despite objections to the feasibility study. Cabinet said that social housing could be built at other sites.
I'm so disappointed. What makes worse, we are working for them. We are working for them at this point. Even we are doing everything for them. I'm so surprised that we can't have houses, affordable houses, whereas we're working for them. We are not new to them. They know us at Sea Point. I don't see any reason why we can't get a place there.
In May 2017, Difuna Ukwazi launched a review application in the Cape Town High Court to have the sale set aside or undone. For more than 2 years, lawyers for the parties prepared their papers and arguments.
The struggle in Sea Point has been an ongoing thing in Sea Point for many, many years.
Cape Town now today actually is less dense than it was 50 years ago. At a time where, for example, District 6, people were living there, people have been moved out. There hasn't been something matched to bring people back into the city. And so really Cape Town looks like and feels like and is an apartheid city. We know that at the same time, the province is using land through the regeneration program. They're selling land. And so in that context, we need to do something about it. Neither the province or the city have adequately responded to these facts, right? That it's an unequal, it's a segregated apartheid city that we need to transform through accessing land for affordable housing. One of the things that we're asking the court to do is look at this obligation and say it's not just about where you provide housing, it's about where you provide access to land so that you can address the obligation to redress spatial apartheid.
Let us enjoy today. Let us take the victory and make it ours, comrades.
Today we received judgment in the Tafelberg matter concerning the parcel of property behind me, which is owned by the provincial government. We've challenged for the past few years that this piece of land, which had previously been earmarked for affordable housing, should not have been sold for short-term capital injection to a private party. Today, the court's judgment affirmed our position by saying firstly that the provincial government today, together with the city, have an obligation to use land to redress spatial apartheid and have failed to do so. The court has gone further by requiring them to come back to court in May 2021 with a policy saying what steps they will take to address the failure of the failed obligations under the Constitution. Furthermore, and importantly and really excitingly for us, the court has set aside the decision made by the provincial government to sell this parcel of land.
This day marks as a victory of those learners who come to Sea Point High School and all schools in the inner city and have been struggling to get in the inner city each and every morning. It is a victory after years of struggle as activists. Everyone is an activist standing here, and let everyone be encouraged that we can stand up for our fundamental rights and ensure that the government fulfills their moral and constitutional duty. If they can't fulfill their duty, we'll have to remind them as citizens. It is land for people and not for profit.
I'm one of the mothers, single mothers, that has been working in Sea Point as a domestic worker, being exploited by the rules of the apartheid system that has been used against us as women, against us and our families. Today, the answer had come. We have won what we had fought for. We want to say viva to everyone that had participated in what we wanted to achieve.
Ndilapha ngoku kuyanetha kwenzeka yonke into andikwazi kwenza nix ndi-disable kodwa I'm over the moon. I can't even tell kumini shantoni kum apha ngoku kusekenziwe kakhulu apha kule high court besikade singalali kusiwa kuyo sivuka sisiye kuyo ingathi siyadlala beloyo sithi adlala nabanye abantu hayi suka siyadlala komntu azohlalisa ipoint omnyama abelungu bavumele loo nto leyo ibindawo yebusiness le singabeba ngoku sawusetha umzekelo waloo nto leyo sizawuhlala apha eSea Point akhange sithi sifuna uhlala free, sifuna affordable houses.
We must challenge government in each and every piece of land that's well located. Black lives do matter even now, and it doesn't just matter in terms of equality, but also us being acknowledged by getting bases to stay in well located areas. Amandla! Viva Reclaim the City, viva! Viva! Viva Ndifunukwazi, viva! Viva! Viva progressive lawyers, viva! Viva! Viva occupiers, viva! Viva!
On the 31st of August, judgment was handed down in the Tafelberg matter. One of the orders that were granted by the court was that the sale of the property, the Tafelberg property in Sea Point, was unlawful, and the court then reviewed and set that sale aside. A few weeks after the judgment was handed down, the province as well as the city filed an application for leave to appeal to the SCA, meaning that they wanted to challenge the orders. On the very same day that the province filed its application for leave to appeal, Premier Windley, together with Minister Matigizela, issued a press statement stating various things about its approach to the appeal, and also importantly mentioned, firstly, that the Phyllis Jewish Day School would not be proceeding with the appeal, and that it had decided not to pursue its rights under the contract of sale that it had previously entered into with the province.
Comrades, we are here today because Alan Wynne has decided to return 500 million rands that was meant to be used for human settlements and informal settlements down to treasure. But comrades, he has decided Ndobana akazuza sodimana nathi. Therefore we've decided Ndobana will go to his house. Sisayinhlanganiso kwakhe. Yabakala bahlali. Therefore when we are living here, comrades, we are not going to his office. We are not going to the provincial legislature. We are going directly to his house. Because comrades, this fight is personal. This fight is personal, and you must know that it's personal.
Le mali itsikileyo apha yimali ukuupgrade amatyotyombe, yimali bakhula into izindlu kwindawo ehlala kuzo, so ayikandilula lesekuyo apha. Yes, ngabanye abantu ingandihlamba singabantu abanesithuthezi kwaye sijampa ityhu, asifuma patient ke kwi-waiting list. Ubi-waiting list ikhona utheni imali ijikile ngokhela abantu izindlu anganti waiting list ikhona. That means there's no waiting list in the Western Cape. So intlonto leyo sidimanda imali yethu.
We also visited the Premier to speak to him and engage with him around the Tafelberg site and when he is going to release the Tafelberg site for social housing, affordable housing. Instead of engaging with us, the Premier was escorted by police, and we too, after the Premier was escorted or from the property, we were then met with police brutality, where the police started firing stun grenades at the protesters.
So namhlanje sithi le ndoda must fall. Uwindi must fall.
What's going to happen after the Concord, when we're done at the Concord, when it's all said and done? What's going to
see what happens with the ruling? I can't determine what the Concord's ruling is going to be. But let's rather take it to the last case, when the even before the case ended. The first question is, before the case had even made the ruling, did we ask for interested and affected parties to register for the use of that property? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Did you register?
We did register.
Yes.
Now the follow-up question.
Yeah, and then you say, so you registered, we showed goodwill, we were going to develop the property, then you stop there again, let's go to court again.
So
I mean, it's on you guys.
Okay, so I just want to understand.
You should not do that. You should let us do what we want to do. We showed goodwill that we will, and you registered as well, but then you said, no, we'll go back to court.
So the appeal affects the process that you opened up? Because from the last communication that we had was that it's going to take 2 years for the process to happen or to occur, and there wasn't any communication to say that the court case...
We need to do.
Yeah, because
you
I think...
must do what you need to do. All I can say to you is I think that it was in bad faith. We did it in good faith to say the ruling is going to come to an end. This has been appealed how many times? Now, when this ruling comes, we already said in good faith, let's register to start doing something with the property. You even registered to do something with the property, but then after the ruling, you go, let's go back to court again. That's on you guys, not on me. And we will do what we need to do, and you must do what you need.
So the process will only happen or take place after the Concord?
I don't know. I can't.
Because it's not only us who register, there are a lot of people who register, so it'll be, I think...
But it's only you that are stopping it.
No, we're not stopping the process to take place. So we're not stopping the process to take place. What we're trying to understand is that you open up a process...
How much are you on this court case?
Pardon?
How much are you spending on the court case?
No. We just
5 or 6 million. I don't know.
So we just want to. So
it's not nothing. It's a waste of money.
So
how much are you spending?
Premier, we hear you, but
with your today's stop, you can stop it.
So the Concord, basically, what you're saying is that the Concord.
From your donors, and they will have to pay for court cases. They don't need to do it. We've already shown good faith. We will develop that property. It's on you now that you're stopping it.
So the process has been paused because of the court case. Is that what you're saying?
We've showed you beforehand that we wanted to work. We wanted to work and get this thing going.
Is it possible to put a communication to say that this 2-year process has been stopped because of the Concord, because of the cases being appealed? Because the people don't know that.
Okay, you guys have been over your time. Thank you.
Sorry, we didn't hear what the female was saying.
The future of the Tafelberg site has been a bone of contention for a decade, with calls that it be developed into social and affordable housing in the upmarket area, situated along the Atlantic seaboard. The matter has been in and out of the courts since the provincial government decided to sell the prime land a decade ago, instead of developing it for much-needed housing in the city. It's currently before the Constitutional Court. This week, the government announced new plans for the site, saying the demands it faces now are very different compared to 10 years ago.
Our plan has always been for the remainder of the site, as per the infographic I showed you, to actually focus on affordable housing, and in the Western Cape context, they focus on variable forms of ownership on that specific site, which speaks to the reality in the surrounding area. So in terms of the way forward, in partnership with social development, my department is the custodian of the land. They've expressed an interest in one portion of the specific site. We will now allow them to do their planning and modelling in terms of what Minister Lons said, given the various social needs that's ever increasing in this sector within our province.
Use of the site will see about 7,300 square metres of land allocated to mixed-use affordable housing, with a slightly bigger section of 8,600 square metres earmarked for social development initiatives and programs.
Have older persons that sometimes do not have a place to go to. We have people with disabilities that sometimes do not have a place to go to. There are children that are in need of facilities. And that is something that DSD cannot deliver on our own. And that is why I'm incredibly excited about this partnership.
Housing activists who staged a protest following the announcement say they are not objecting to the proposal itself, but are dissatisfied about not being meaningfully engaged. They've described the government's proposal as a vindication of their decade-long fight for spatial justice.
In fact, it is us, for many years, for 8 years, that have been calling for that site to be used for affordable housing. So what they are saying is really vindicating us that we are correct all along to say that it was possible to build affordable housing. You'd know that we did about 9 feasibility studies that were saying about 270 units of affordable housing were possible on that site. And for the past 8 years, those feasibility studies were ignored. And it's only now that they're saying that no, they are planning to use a portion of that site for affordable housing, which we welcome, that it will be used for affordable housing. But we are quite very shocked as well about the timing, of this announcement, because this announcement comes on the back of the Concord coming on the 11th of February.
The Western Cape government says while the Constitutional Court will provide a ruling soon on its previous disposal process, it's confident that the judgment will still enable it to use a portion of the site for affordable housing. Vanessa Puna, SABC News, Cape Town.